Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the OUA Basketball Show 2026 edition. So excited to be speaking to you once again from OUA Basketball Show headquarters here in Toronto. Hope you all had a lovely, lovely winter break. I know that I did, but very excited to get back into OUA basketball. Only a couple games that were on the Wednesday this week since students returned back to campuses and all that. So not going to touch too much on those. Instead, we're going to get straight into our great conversation today with my guest, Tayvius Hall. My guest today is a student journalist at Toronto Metropolitan University and an up-and-coming, really an arrived OUA basketball creator, Tayvius Hall. Tayvius, thanks so much for coming on the OUA Basketball Show.
Pleasure to be here.
So just right off the top, we'll hit this again at the end, but tell me a little bit about your Instagram page, where the people can find it, and the kind of stuff that you do on there.
Okay, so my name is Tayvius Hall. Created the Voice Down the Hall Instagram and also on TikTok.
Perfect.
I do OUA coverage, specifically on the OUA, headlines, player spotlights. Just want to attract attention to the university body and even in the Canadian sport body. So I'm very excited to be here. But yeah, that's basically what I do. I want to be very conversational, very connection based. Just doing me.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic stuff. You post like recaps of the weekends and stuff like that. So if you're a fan of the OUA and the fan of basketball, you definitely got to be following Voice Down the Hall on Instagram. But yeah, Tayvius, I just wanted to have you on like we were chatting about because we're about to get into the second half of the season here. It's about to get intense. There's a lot of playoff races shaping up. So I thought it would be a great time to get like sort of a general league expert like you on and just sort of talk some ball. So yeah, we got a couple months left before playoffs, which is crazy. That winter break always comes so fast.
Yeah.
So I was just sort of wondering, in your mind, what's something that you're really looking at as the second half of the season? What's something you're curious about how it's going to play out?
Honestly, if we're just gonna start off with the men's, I'm gonna start off with the men's right now.
Yeah.
I have it pulled up. It's very interesting what the OUA Central Division is looking like. It's very, very competitive at the moment. Who's a fraud, who's legit. You got three teams that have 7 wins. And that's not really seen. You kind of see that in the East going on right now, but they have Lakehead, TMU, and Brock have been very dominant so far. It's just who is going to be that number one, who is going to clinch that division first. That's what I'm really looking at right now.
Yeah, I mean, we talk, I think, in both the men's and the women's, all this talk about the OUA East all the time, but the OUA Central, especially on that men's side this year, and we'll get to the women's side as well, but you mentioned Lakehead, who have really done well. They followed up that exciting season last year with another great start. But that TMU team, like you just look at the point differential, they got the same record as Brock, but they are way better in the point differential, and we got Aaron Rooms playing like an MVP once again. I think that if I had to make a pick right now, those bold would probably be my pick, but the Badgers are really good. I don't want it to seem like I'm discrediting the Badgers, and I think you're right to circle that division. That's going to be super exciting all the way down to the finish.
It's a big discrepancy. I personally, look at Lakehead is a great team, but a lot of their wins come from teams with 7 or plus losses.
Yeah.
They have a tough schedule ahead of them. They got to do a lot of proving for me. TMU's been great. Point differential, you've seen it. It's beautiful. But their 2 losses have been Brock. And
that's true.
I gotta really think about it. And Brock has dominated at home and on the road as well. So for me, I'm kind of inclined to go with the Badgers right now.
All right, well, see, a TMU student going against his ball. You'll still be able to walk around campus. I think.
Yeah,
it'll still
I don't know.
be okay.
I don't know. It's funny. The TMU, I do these things, and I got some players. Oh, you didn't pick me for the predictions. I do predictions as well. And you guys didn't pick us. I was like, oh snap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My fault.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful.
I'm sure they know you're just doing your job there.
Yeah.
But for me, on the men's side, the team that I've been loving watching all year long is Western. We had Tiny John on the show earlier in the year. Really great guy. Had a great chat with him.
Really great dude.
And they just lost their first game of the season going into the break. I know that was a disappointment for them to drop that undefeated record. No undefeated teams left on the men's side now. But they obviously the OUA West, where they play a lot of their games, maybe not quite as strong as the other divisions, but they have just been cleaning up. They've been stacking up a ton of momentum, and I think that playing in sometimes some of those weaker divisions, sure, it can be tough because you're not quite as battle tested, but it also just really helps you figure out what you want to do as a team and where you want to go. And I think Western has really looked like they're establishing a strong identity so far, and they're really figuring out how the Mustangs want to play this year. So I'm really excited to see how they can do maybe once we get to the playoffs or in the second half of the season against some of that intra-division competition, or inter-division competition, I should say. And I'm really curious to see what the Mustangs can do, because right now I'm really liking how they're looking.
They've been very high-powered on offense. Mikhail Zagar, he's been double-doubling a lot. Tiny John, he's been phenomenal. I would be surprised if he doesn't get any honors at the end of the year. But yeah, again, it's all about the second. It's all about how you end the season, and they have a great base right now. Can they notch 20 wins? I'm not sure.
That's a tall order. Yeah,
the 23 game season, but it's gonna be tough. But I think they can do it.
Yeah, well, I'm really curious about that. And then, of course, last thing to just quickly hit we've hit the Central, we've hit the West. Why don't we quickly jump over to the East, where it looks like Carleton Ravens are back in business. We had a couple years off there. I'm a Carleton guy, that was where I spent my undergrad, so I'm a little biased there. But Coach Charles he went through a couple of tough years there where they just weren't quite performing at the level that they held themselves to. I know that for sure. Mm-hmm. And now they're looking great. They've only played 10 games, which is less than most other teams, but they've got by far the lowest points allowed in the league. We know that Carleton loves defense. That's how they built such a proud program over there. And it seems like they're back to that again, and MJ Ocado is more than capable of handling that offensive load. So it's going to be a great second half. I'm just so excited.
Yeah, you mentioned Carleton. They remind me of kind of like a bad boy Pistons. You know what I'm saying? They have a defensive integrity. Yeah, that's great. But you look at that game. That was for me on my channel. It was one of the games of the year. Carleton versus Western.
Yes.
If you told me Aubrey Dory Havens was gonna get 9 three balls in that game, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be laughing at you. I'd be like, that's not Western's pretty, but it happened. Yeah. 27 straight 3 balls. Can they bank on that again? I'm not sure, but
it's tough too.
Carleton definitely, held it down defensively. A high-powered offense like Western. Carleton looks like they have this one in the seat, but do not count out Laurentian. I had the privilege of watching Laurentian firsthand against TMU. Wasn't a good win, but they were very banged up. Bryce Fandio, I don't know. The kid is special. I'll be real. He's shooting threes, and these are movement threes. These are deep threes. He's kind of been that point. I think he's slid over to that lead guard, and he's been on a tear. He's been notching around 6 assists around. He's been great. Are they going to hold up? I hope so. I think that's my favorite team. More exciting team. But yeah, and then you got it's honestly a loaded division. Yeah, Queens here too, who's on a 5-game win streak. They started the season 1-5. They're slowly picking it up right now. The point differential is very mid right now, but it's really hard. This division could go either way. For me, it's who finishes at that second spot.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. We're so used to Carleton, Queens, and Ottawa duking it out in that OUA East, and Ottawa and Queens both had a ton of great players graduate this year. Cole Silas chief among them, and Queens really took a second to find their footing, but it looks like they have found it. We know Ollie Engen's a great leader over there, and You're absolutely right. And Laurentian, all right, I love it. Keeping a voice for the smaller programs out there, the less
It's like the
prestigious
smaller
ones.
market teams, like the
Yeah,
smaller market teams, like. But it's really very happy to see like a smaller team come up like this. It's like
100%.
you
Yeah,
know
we
it's
saw it with
not
Lakehead and Ontario
Lakers
Tech
as well.
last
Yeah.
year. Uh, it's great to see every market getting some rep. Why don't we jump over to the women's side here? And
Yeah.
that one's really interesting. I think you look, we got no undefeated teams on the men's. We got two on the women's that are
Two.
both looking like absolute
Tyrant.
juggernauts. Queens
Yeah.
Gales and TMU Bold are both looking absolutely unbeatable right now. Carleton, the recent national champions, are struggling a little bit. They're down at 7-3, struggling by their standards. But
Yeah.
those two teams, Gales 11-0 with a plus 270 point differential. The TMU Bold 10-0, also with a like plus 230 point differential. These
Yeah.
two teams are blowing other teams out of the gym, and it seems like they're on a crash course right now.
It's really interesting. Again, I'm all about strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Team they've played teams that, no disrespect, they're not gonna make the playoffs now. They're very good teams, but I'm struggling to see, are they good teams and TMU are making them look bad? Like their defense is out of this world. I think they have the best defense in the whole OUA in my opinion, and they've done a great job. 10 straight wins. And then you look at Queens, who they've just been dominating. They've been great. They've been, moving the ball a lot. Kiara Letlow, who just broke the
Set the
rebounding,
record. Yeah.
set the record, U Sports record, who is a transfer. So to get that transfer, it's like everything's just going great for them. So it's gonna be hard. I don't know. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Who do you think is the better team?
It's tough, you go back and forth. Two of the best coaches in all of Canada as well, and Coach Meadows and Coach Clark. And I would just think, before I forget to mention it, like TMU also brought in an all-star level transfer
Yes.
from another conference in Miriam Kone, so that's an interesting sort of parallel between Letlow and Kone, both helping elevate these already fantastic programs. If I had to choose right now, I think I would go with the Gales. Like you mentioned, they're a little more battle-tested with playing in that division with the Ravens and the GGs.
Yeah.
But it's really tough to look against Coach Clark and her Bold at all. So, I can only hope that we get a Critelli Cup final with these two teams right now, because that would be must-see TV across Canada. Like, that would be fantastic basketball. But I gotta go Gales over Bold, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Bold took it either. These are just two incredible basketball teams.
I'm gonna hold you to it. January 30th, they meet up. It's gonna be a great. Hopefully they are undefeated by then.
They gotta hold on until they can play each other. Come on, now.
Like that's the ESPN. That's the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be a great game.
That game will be in Toronto for anyone who's listening right now in Toronto. Go out and get tickets, because you'll get the Gales against the Bold twice that night, with the men coming up as well. I might try and swing down for that, because that's going to be a fantastic Friday night of basketball.
For sure.
Make sure you go out and you support your local teams. Just before we let you go here, Tayvius, a couple other women's, like maybe players that you're keeping an eye on or anything like that.
Honestly, although the team is 6-5 right now, you got to give credit to Renee Armstrong.
Yes.
She's been very, very, and it's like on the lows. They're going crazy. She started the preseason with a 7 steal, 1 block game.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, okay, I'm like kind of learning people, and then she's putting up 14 assist games along with it. She's putting up 5 steal, 2 block, 5 steal, 3 blocks. This lady needs her recognition. She's got to be on she's got to get honors at the end of the season.
Yes, 100%.
She's been great. They took down Ottawa 75-73. They took down Carleton, and it's all fueled off of her performance. She's been an all-around beast in my opinion.
Yeah, her first year over at Western there, we know she was great from her time at Guelph. And like if you're building an ideal starting lineup in the OUA. It's tough because there are so many great players,
So
but
many.
off the top of my head, I think she's got to be on that list.
She's
So
got
we're talking, I think, full first team All Star capabilities there for Renee Armstrong out in Western. I think she's more than capable of, as she continues to gel with that new team and that new program. I think
this is her first year. What could have been? I feel like this is just she's in her 5th year.
Yeah.
So it's really like damn, but it's like I'm really appreciative to see, she's really killing it right now.
Yeah, 100%. Tayvius, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a fantastic conversation. It's great to get the chance to chat with you. One more time, just plug the page there.
It's Voice Down the Hall on Instagram, Voice Down the Hall on TikTok as well. Feel free to DM me. You know what I'm saying? Give me your thoughts on it. And I just want to say appreciate the time, Griffin. Really do.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's been fantastic having you here, my friend. Maybe we can have you on before the playoffs again or something like that to chat more, because that would be great. All right, thank you again for the time, Tayvius Hall from Down the Hall. Thanks so much to Tayvius again for that fantastic chat. All right, let's get into the games to look forward to, because once again we have OUA basketball games to look forward to. We'll start on Friday night. That's tonight if you're watching this when it comes out. We've got some good ones. On the women's side, let's go with Queens heading into Ottawa to take on the Carleton Ravens. We just talked with Tayvius about how we want that undefeated matchup between Queens and TMU a few weeks from now. This is going to be a tough test for them against the prestigious Carleton Ravens program. And over on the men's side, why don't we take another big rivalry and we'll head to the city of Toronto, where the U of T Varsity Blues are taking on the York Lions. Red and blue, always a fun game there. So why don't we circle that as our Friday night game to watch. Saturday night, women's are delivering us another absolute banger as Windsor heads to Guelph to battle for the lead in that division. Those two teams both sitting at 10-2 right now. That is going to be a fantastic basketball game. Make sure you give that one a watch. Then after that, I'm going to go back to Queens. This time on the men's side, we're going to take a look at them going up against the University of Ottawa, two programs who right now are looking to really make a strong run in the second half from their mid-standings position right now. Those are two teams with a lot on the line. I think they're both going to want that key division win. All right, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out a bunch of games this weekend on OUA.tv, and we will see you next week on the OUA Basketball Show.